Welcome to Tuesdays with Tom. So glad you could join me. I had the quintessential New York weekend this past weekend. My brother and I played golf at Bethpage on Long Island. We didn't get to play Bethpage Black for you golf aficionados with Bethpage Red, but still it was great to be out there. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the best spirits the whole time. I was shanking my irons to the left. I didn't hit a good drive until the 17th hole, and I was kind of bummed about that, when I should have just been exhilarated of the fact of being outdoors and playing at Bethpage, an experience I've been wanting to do for decades upon decades. And then my brother and I, we went to a Yankees game, Yankees-Red Sox. Unfortunately, the baseball wasn't so great. There weren't that many hits. The Yankees couldn't generate any offense, and they were blanked out. And I was bummed about that too. I wanted to see the home team win and to have lots of hits and to run the bases. But as I reflected upon my time there, most of the people were not there for the baseball. They were there to get food, waiting in line for 45 minutes for some French fries. But even more, I think, to socialize with other people. The folks around us were fascinating. One dad was showing pictures of his family in Hawaii. He told us he played tennis with Navratilova, Chrissy Everett, Elena Stasi, and more. I'm not so sure if I believed it, but he had a great joy, despite what the Yankees were doing. And these feelings that I had ebbing and flowing all weekend were brought back to mind as I was working on sermons for the fall, and came across once again Spiritual Exercises by Ignatius of Loyola. And I did some research and retraced where he came from, and I think it's fascinating because you may find yourself in these same emotional, spiritual, mental times in the world we live in. He calls the focus of his work Discernment of Spirits. And he came across this while convalescing from battle injuries, as I understand it. And he noticed different interior movements within his soul. And he called them spirits of consolation and spirits of desolation. Now, whether you believe in spirits as real entities or not, I don't think is so important to this process. We all have these experiences within us that draw us to greater, more positive places, and others that draw us to negative. And here are a few things about that. Spiritual consolation, as Ignatius talks about it, is an experience of being so on fire with God's love that we feel impelled to praise, to love, and to serve God, and to help others as best we can. Spiritual consolation encourages and facilitates a deep sense of gratitude for God's faithfulness, for God's mercy, and our companionship in life. Spiritual desolation is an experience of the soul in heavy turmoil. We are assaulted by doubts, bombarded by temptations, and mired in self-preoccupations. We are excessively restless and anxious and feel cut off from one another. Such feeling, Ignatius' words, move one toward lack of faith and leave one without faith and without love and without hope. This is what I'm doing here in the chapel here at Brick. I'm going to be spending some time in prayer. And if you feel yourself torn between spirits of desolation and spirits of consolation, Spiritual Exercises by Ignatius of Loyola is a heavy lift, but there are some marvelous gems in there to help us all grow in our love for God and find those places of joy in each and every day. Blessings and peace be with you.